It also, I think, for our team, points out how fragile you can be as a team if you can't, kind of take care of those things in place of her, when she's hurt. And I think every team's in that vulnerable position if one of their best players gets hurt, but that's not why we lost the series.
Front row left.
Sanders went down early in the second when you guys were fighting back. What does that do to the team, and just how do you respond?
You're taking a starter out of the lineup who was playing pretty well, had a good start to the second half. She turned her ankle pretty good, stepping off the edge of the floor, going for the loose ball. I thought Maisha Hines-Allen did a pretty good job as another rookie coming in a playoff finals. But there's a difference in the experience between the two. It certainly didn't help us, but that's those things happen. I don't dwell on that right now. I'm already on. I'll be honest with you. I walked into our locker room and we already talked about the things that we should be proud of and the things we can do to get better. And the rest of that stuff is just stuff that happened and it's now already in the past. And we're already on to the next thing.
Front row to your right.
Coach, what made Breanna Stewart and Natasha Howard so hard to deal with in this game?
They're really good players. I mean, I don't have any better answer than that. I mean, I think that, that Natasha Howard is the biggest difference between their team last year and this year on the court, and I think Dan Hughes made a big difference off the court. I thought he did a terrific coaching job. Defensively, they had a better identity this year. But, I think Natasha is just so active. She was the perfect complement to Breanna Stewart. The two of them learned how to play off each other. They're both active and mobile. And Natasha Howard has a will about her to get on the boards and to move and cut. I got a chance to see her kind of up close in college when my daughter was working at Florida State, and you could just see how athletic she would be. It was just how long it was going to take her to figure out her role in the pro game, and she's figured it out really well right now.
Second row center.
Coach, don't know if you've had any time in the locker room with the players after the loss was just a few minutes ago, but if you have talked to them,
yeah, I did.
What did you tell them?
That's what I was just saying 1 minute ago. I just talked to them about how proud I was of them and the things that we could do, briefly that we can do to get better, and where we were picked and where we ended up. They should be, excited about, and they should be excited about the future. We'll have a team meeting tomorrow and talk about a few more things, but over the next couple months, I'll meet with our players individually. We aren't going to do a lot of exit interviews right away. When it's all this fresh, we'll do it with the young players. But I'm just so excited for where they got. I'm sorry for our fans that they didn't get to witness one more final game here, but for those fans who have waited 20-something years, they should be excited about what they have going forward with this team. And when I took this job 6 years ago, you always think something's easier than it is, and you walked in and you said, well, this team was 5-29, can't be all that bad. It was a haul. We don't have very many people left from that first year, and all these players have bought in, they're trying to do the right things, and we've come a long way.
And Mike, with Jewel and Stewie being 24, Natasha Howard 27, obviously Sue's 37, but do you see this as a team even beyond this year as kind of the team everyone needs to shoot for?
Oh yeah, I mean they're the defending champs now. Yeah. They're young, they're really talented, they're smart, and they know how to play with each other. Teams are going to have to figure out some ways to match up and have as much firepower as they do, because even on the nights that you play pretty good defense, they just have so many weapons to put the ball in the basket. They have so many unsung. Everybody talks about Stewie, everybody talks about Sue, but when you look at the series that Natasha Howard and Alicia Clark had, and the game that Jewel had, the one game, you have so many weapons, and then you bring somebody like Sammy Whitcomb off the bench, and she had an impact on the game today.
We have one more question for Coach as our Washington players are here. Second row center.
Mike, you talked a lot this year about how you saw key role players grow, people like Tiana and Natasha. Does that kind of, I guess, fortify your sense of the team's attitude and how they feel about the future, how much they're looking forward to growing?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you know, obviously they're very disappointed in the locker room, but I think they know that what they did this year was special. You know, it's hard to say that sometimes when, you know, everybody talks about who the champion is, but again, from where we came at the start of the year to where we are now, that they have to turn around and look and say, boy, you know, we did so many good things. You know, and the other part of it is, but there's the champ, and it's a motivation or a carrot in front of them to say, hey, we got to work this much harder, we got to improve in these areas if we're going to compete with them and try to win, you know, a championship.
Coach, thank you.
Thanks.
To our media, we have our Washington player.
Elena, if I could start with you, and just when you came here, it was with the goal of winning the championship, and you are now 2 years in. I'm wondering where you see the state of the team, how close you think you are, and whether you can see how to get there from here.
Yeah, I mean, we had a great season. I'm super proud of the way we bounced back from a lot of adversity that we faced all season long. Obviously, this finals didn't go the way we wanted it to, but I think the great thing is that we can still improve. We don't feel like we peaked and this was it for us. We feel like we got a lot of young, great talent, and obviously this isn't how we wanted it to end, but it's an experience that we can grow from. So hopefully, you know, everybody goes off to wherever they're going this off season, but continues to improve, get better, and then come back and regroup and build off of this season.
Second row left.
Kristi, kind of a similar question. When you look back at this season and the big picture, kind of where you see it, and kind of your thoughts on just the season overall, not just the series.
A successful one. I mean, you can't be unsuccessful if you're in the finals. So you know, you have to think big picture, and this team made a lot of great strides from last year into this year. You know, we showed a lot of character this year, a lot of resiliency. You know, coming off after the All-Star break, playing really well, and obviously to make the finals against a really great team. Didn't go our way, but you got to keep things in perspective. And everybody else in the league wishes that they were playing tonight. So we're very aware of that, and thankful that we were here, and we know we can improve, and so we will. You know, that Seattle core has been together for a while outside of Howard. So to me, it kind of reminds me of Minnesota and how they've had their core together and when they made those runs. You know, we're still new, we're still getting to learn one another. So we will have another year next year, and we'll continue to get better and see if we can get back.
We'll stay in the second row left.
Kristi, Elena, your coaches told us that, you know, he talked to you guys briefly, saying that he was proud of you and just like what you guys can also improve on. Being the captains, being kind of the veteran leaders, was there anything that you two told the team in the locker room just now?
No, I mean, I think this is a time that you just you reflect. You know, we all know that, you know, we're happy and we're proud of where we were at, but we want to be better, and I don't think you have to say that. I think everybody knows, and you know, we're gonna meet tomorrow, and I'm sure we'll all say what we want to say. But for right now, we're just kind of soaking in what happened.
Last row center.
I know it's been tough going to different venues for all these games, but really good crowds, and really sort of maybe gives you a preview of what you're looking forward to next year in a you know, a real true home court advantage. Is that something that you guys can maybe sort of feed off of, and we're really looking forward to as like a day-to-day thing next year?
Yeah, that'll be great, having a home that we can't get kicked out of, hopefully. But both Kristi and I have talked about it. We've seen such a growth in our fan base these past 2 years. Not gonna lie, it was a little quiet when we first came out for our first game, and now look at it. Which obviously winning helps, but we can really create something here, and I think we've really grown this fan base, and they're behind us, they're proud of us, and you know, they know we're not satisfied and we want to do more, but I think it'll be huge, you know, having our own home, our fans will have a consistent place to show up and watch us play. And then, you know, it's a small arena, so it'll be loud, crowded, and kind of have that playoff atmosphere all year long.
Second row center.
Elena, you guys started off just getting to know each other as a roster last year. Can you give us a sense of now, 2 full seasons later, how close you guys have become?
Yeah, there's been a huge transformation in the culture of this team. You know, last year we were brand new. We didn't know, I mean, I didn't even know her favorite beer. And that's a pretty important thing. Now I can go to the bar, order her everything she needs, know what I need to
I'm gonna need a lot tonight.
To get flowing. Trust me, I know, I got you, Panda. But I mean, just even certain things like that. Knowing people's favorite musicians, things outside of basketball. Obviously the basketball stuff, like knowing she likes a dribble handoff, knowing she's not a huge fan of the Flares, all that stuff.
Ellie, quit telling us.
Everybody knows. They still can't guard you. But yeah, she loves Flares, hates dribble handoffs. But no, just like certain things like that. On court is huge, but I think this stuff off court is even bigger. Knowing each other's families, dogs, all that. You know, Wrigley writes her messages on Instagram all the time. Things like that. That's what it's all about. That's where the fun comes, the camaraderie. We're only out there on the court a little bit of time together, but the moments that we spend hanging out in the airport, playing Would You Rather, hanging out, getting dinner together, those are the moments that are so special and what we're actually probably going to miss the most now that this season has ended.
2 more questions. Standing back row left.
Elena, now that the series is over, can you discuss how you were affected by the knee injury?
Yeah, I mean, it was different. I unfortunately wasn't able to practice a lot in the moments that, you know, we had off, so I was kind of trying to figure out my go-to moves as games were going on and just trying to get comfortable finding different ways. I'm a very left-footed player. I like to push off one leg and floaters, step backs, all that off my left leg. So just trying to find a different way to get it done. But I felt more and more comfortable as we kept going.
Last question, front row left.
Yeah, for both of you. One hand, from the franchise side, it's building yourselves to be that fierce fighting machine. But this year, the league kind of was setting records for setting records every night, and it just seemed like night after night was a challenge, and just how much tougher it is now to go out there and play a full schedule.
Yeah, this league is so talented. I mean, that next year there's going to be teams that were super young this year that grew so much throughout the season, and so many teams were knocking on that door just to even get into playoffs. So it's going to be grueling, even more grueling next year than this year. So we know how great the teams are and how much better we have to be. We're not just going to be satisfied that we got here this season. We know we got to improve because everybody else is.
Elena, Kristi, thank you. To our media coach who